Hello and welcome to Market House, the podcast where we talk all things Disney. My name's Caleb.
And I'm Caitlin.
And this week we talk about a California resident ticket deal.
A new animatronic makes an appearance.
And our top 5 Disneyland dinner options. Let's dive in. Right, and this is episode number 87, and like always, cannot wait to dive in and talk all things Disney.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back, and yeah, we've been just hanging out for the most part, working, paying bills, doing the adult stuff, and we actually, fun stuff, watched Sword in the Stone. I've seen it before. I loved it as a kid. I think this was Caitlin's first time.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Okay, so we split it up into 2 nights because the first night we started, it was a little late and Caitlin fell asleep about 45 minutes in. So we completed it the next night, which was last night, and you loved it.
So first of all, I have to admit, we've been in a long conversation with Emily and Clayton over at Make It Magical regarding this movie. I've never seen it, and they've been talking about us watching it since. And I'm like, I don't know. And I honestly thought it wasn't going to be good because it looks just kind of weird. And I can't tell you how amazing it was. It was funny. It was charming. Like, it was engaging. Like, I loved it. Like, it's probably up there on probably one of my favorite movies.
What?
Not like top 5 or anything, but I would highly recommend. If you haven't seen that movie, definitely watch it. It's funny.
Yeah, it was good. It's an hour and 20 minutes, so it's not a huge time sink or commitment. So I didn't remember it until like the first couple of scenes. I was like, oh my gosh, like I had all these rush of memories that it was a staple when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it all just brought back a ton of memories. I'm like, oh my gosh, I used to watch this with my brother and it was weird.
Yeah, it was really good. I just loved everything about it, especially the owl in the movie. I loved how grumpy he was the whole time.
Yes.
And there's a scene, which again, I won't say anything for those who haven't seen it, although most likely all of you have. There's a scene with like these birds in the, like, towards like the middle of the movie. They're birds, right?
Birds? What are you talking about?
Yeah, remember when they're like, oh no, they're squirrels.
Yeah, what are you talking about? I was like, what?
They're squirrels, sorry. And basically, the character is a squirrel with it, and the squirrel's like trying to like fall in love, and then it's
good.
So good.
Yeah, out of context, it sounds like a crazy movie, but
yeah, but it's so funny.
It's a fun one. So we watched that. That was good. Again, Disney Plus brings back. We talked about this last week or 2 weeks ago. It's just like full of nostalgia, and it's just a perfect streaming service to have for just feeling good.
Yeah, and it constantly reminds us of a movie that we haven't seen in literally forever. So I really enjoy that aspect of it.
Yeah, it's all good stuff. All the classics on there. Before we dive into the news, please consider leaving a review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. Giant help to the show. It's a star system on both platforms and a written review system just on Apple Podcasts. So if you do that, we would be forever grateful, and we will read it on the show. And speaking of,
we have a new review.
We do. Caitlin, why don't you read it off?
Yes, so this is another 5-star review titled Love It by Katie D16. I've had to cancel 3 Disneyland trips since COVID and still haven't been. As a Disney World fan, I love hearing from the other side. I love following along and am thankful for a fun, carefree podcast.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I'm so
you.
sorry you've had to cancel 3 trips. That's not fun.
Yes, we had to cancel a couple due to COVID, and it's terrible.
Yeah, you get super excited and you're getting up to it, and then, something else, the next wave happened, or
yes.
It was a bad time. So we're out of it. I hope you can get out here soon.
Yeah.
And enjoy the West Coast. But again, thank you so much for the kind words. We appreciate that. And Disney World. We will be visiting your neck of the woods in the next few weeks here, which we cannot wait to do.
We're so excited.
So both coasts are awesome in their own ways. So come out here and check out Disneyland when you get the chance. You can also support the show by using our Getaway Today link to book your Disney vacation. So if you use that fancy link that's in the episode description, that supports the show, and it also saves you some money, which is always welcome. And you can save an additional $10 if you use code MARKETHOUSE10. All right, let's get into that news.
All right, first up, we have some exciting news. It looks like Disney has released a California resident ticket deal again.
Yes, these are always welcome for us Californians because it shows a little love to the home state, and it's just, It's expensive to do anything here.
It
So
is. Well,
anytime there's a discount, we like it.
Yeah, and especially this is a good discount.
It is.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like a day free if you do the math. So let me kind of break it down for you guys. These are 3-day, 1 park per day tickets. So no park hopping option, which is fine. 1 park per day is actually a pretty awesome way of doing the parks.
Yeah, we love that.
Yeah, we've done it before. We prefer, if you had to like sit us down and really ask us, I prefer park hopping just 'cause it's so convenient over here on the West Coast. But you're going to have a fantastic time doing 1 park per day, which is totally fine. So this is 3-day, 1 park per day, $249 for the weekday ticket. These can only be used Monday through Thursday. So if you have flexible PTO, if your kids are out of school, perfect excuse to get down there and save some money. Or there's a $299 version that can be used any day of the week, including weekends. And if you need to spend the extra, what is that, $50 for a little more flexibility, that's well worth the money.
That's a really good deal.
It's a very, very good deal. So if you live in California and you haven't been to the parks in a while, take advantage of this because they are a good deal, flat out.
And if you are considering this and considering possibly to going to Oogie Boogie, the dates line up for both of these events.
Yes, in a way.
Yes.
Yeah, some dates won't, right? All of October won't. These tickets can be used, June 12th through September 28th. So by the time this episode's released, I think it's like the day of, actually. So yeah, when this episode releases, that's the first day you can start using these tickets, and it ends September 28th. So there's maybe 5-6 dates that probably fall into more than that.
Yeah.
I guess, right?
There's quite a few that line up like with Oogie Boogie, which is a really great deal because if you want to, again, get a deal on going to Disneyland plus being able to attend the Oogie Boogie, you're saving money, which means more for Oogie Boogie because Oogie Boogie is very expensive.
It is expensive. And yeah, speaking of saving money, I think you can buy these California tickets through Getaway Today.
Oh.
And I think you save even a couple more dollars on top of it.
And plus the Market House, little plug there, an extra $10. You're going to be saving a ton
Save
of money.
some money. Use that link and let us know if it works for you guys. Again, like Caitlin mentioned, perfect for an Oogie Boogie trip. Just another excuse to add some dates to the parks, But I'm always curious why they choose to do these ticket deals because I think historically summer's busy, right?
I would think so. So I don't know if they're noticing a trend that it hasn't been as busy as we've hoped, or excuse me, they've hoped it should be.
Yeah, not we've hoped. I've hoped it's been less.
Again, on our last trip, I feel like there was it Monday and Tuesday was the busiest? And then Sunday was super light.
It was so weird. The weekend, yeah, Sunday was light. Monday and Tuesday were packed. So I think everyone always mentions this and I always forget. All the passes are good like on the weekdays. So they're very pass heavy days. So I think a ton of locals take advantage of that. And that's why weekdays are just slammed.
Yeah.
But a bunch of passes are going to be blocked out starting now. So that's probably why they want to bump up the ticket holder crowd.
Yeah, I do. As a pass holder, though, it's kind of annoying because I'd rather be able to go to the park rather than releasing deals for ticket holders because I'm just kind of like, why? I want to be able to go too.
And I'm going to play devil's advocate. In Disney's
I know
view,
the whole thing.
They think that ticket holders spend more money. And so this is like a once in a few year trip for them. And so they're going to spend money on experiences, on the Disney hotels, on merch. And their argument is that us pass holders go down, spend the bare minimum. It's totally wrong for us like NorCal people because we have to stay down there. We spend money. But yeah.
Yeah, I totally get it. But I feel like instead of blocking the whole summer, maybe just block out one of the months. And then, because again, collectively, if all the pass holders were allowed to go, because there's quite a few people who can't, that's something right there. In addition to the discount.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's pitch it to Disney.
I don't know. They're going to be like, no.
We'll pass.
We're
Thank
like,
you.
okay.
Yeah, we got to figure it out. All right. And that is the California resident ticket deal. All right. And our final news story takes place over in Disney's California Adventure. And it looks like they were testing a free roaming animatronic. So this was Groot doing his own thing, dancing with Peter Quill or Star-Lord, whatever you want to call him. And they invited some guests randomly in DCA to join them for a little dance party just to show them this robot animatronic.
He's really cool looking.
He's really cool. And so they showed this on YouTube in a 2-minute video, and it's fun. You need to go look it up.
Yeah, and it's not, for those who are like, what? I didn't see this. It's not like a tiny baby Groot who's 3 inches. He's pretty big.
Yeah.
He's not like the normals, big Groot.
Yeah, we haven't seen Volume 3 yet, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. We just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah.
We really want to see it, but I'm assuming this is his age in Volume 3, which is like a teenager, it looks like.
Ish, yeah.
Yeah. So It's cool. He's freestanding, like we said. He walks around. He can dance. He can emote. So he's showing emotions with his face. It's pretty dang impressive. So, and the Imagineer stated on this video that there's no plans to use him in the parks anytime soon, and that this was an early test, and they plan on making improvements in the coming months and years. But this kind of reminds us of Push, who was the talking trash can in Tomorrowland.
Yes.
Remember that?
Which that immediately took me back to my childhood. I remember him roaming around and just staring at him. Again, when you're, at least me, when I was little, I'm like, how is this trash can moving?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it.
And he would open up his mouth and people could throw trash into it. It was pretty cool. Again, that was like definitely a very early version of what this is. The Groot is way more advanced and impressive, but it's the same kind of feel of like the potential for a free roaming animatronic to walk around, to interact with guests, to take pictures with guests, and feels a little more real.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. But the thing is that it's never really caught on. So Disney, remember, pitched us that basically there were going to be, droids and live...
In Galaxy's Edge,
yeah. And live actors in Galaxy's Edge. That never caught on. It never happened. And then, again, Push, I think, probably was an early test for something like that. They just got rid of it. They had a Wall-E that would roam around. They got rid of that. He only shows up for conventions now.
The Wall-E animatronic is really neat looking.
It's unbelievably detailed and impressive. Like, that is so cool, and I have no idea why they don't. I'm assuming he breaks down a lot or something.
But I'm like, I don't know. Can you imagine him going around Pixar Pier? Like Wall-E and just like going around. Again, I don't know if it's like, again, I know it's expensive tech and it might break down like you mentioned. I wonder if it might have to do with guests. And like maybe how they're interacting.
Possibly.
You know, people can be people. So I don't know. But that Wall-E one is absolutely amazing.
It is. So look for this tech to come, maybe make an appearance at the park again. Hopefully it sticks. Disney, if you're listening, you're probably not. But if you're listening, please do this again because this is very cool and people love seeing this kind of tech walking around the park. All right. You know what that music means. It is time for... Disney Trivia. Brought to you by Market House. And whoever else wants to sponsor this segment, applications are being accepted. Yes. All right, Caitlin, you won last week. You actually did a very good job. You got 2 out of 2. Mm-hmm. I got 0 out of 2, I think.
It was a good week.
It was a good week.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get into this and see if I can redeem myself.
All right, let's do it. All right, Caleb, are you ready for your first question?
I think so.
All right, number 1. Name Merlin's owl from The Sword in the Stone.
Oh, okay. When you were talking about him in the intro, I was trying to remember his name.
I know.
Okay. Archimedes?
Yes, correct.
Okay, awesome.
I'm so glad you said that. I was going to say something else. I almost said Archimedes.
Oh, it might be Archimedes.
No, you're probably right.
Okay.
I love that character. Right when I saw that question, I'm like, it's so
I feel
fitting.
like I am Archimedes in real life. I'm a grumpy owl.
You are not a grumpy owl.
I'm pretty close.
No, you're not.
Okay.
You guys don't listen to him. He's being weird. Okay, question number 2. What was the name of the shop that Luigi and Guido owned in Cars?
Casa de la Tires.
That is correct. You're missing one thing, but I'm going to take it. It's Luigi's.
Luigi's Casa de.
That's awesome. You're on a roll this week, number 1.
Okay.
And number 2, in addition to us seeing The Sword in the Stone, Pixar just announced that Cars celebrated their anniversary, I believe, on Friday.
Yeah, and it was so fitting because we've been watching the Cars movies.
Yes.
We just finished Cars 2, which was a giant downgrade from Cars 1. It's good. It's a good movie, but it's unfair that it has to be put up against Cars 1, which is a masterpiece.
Yeah, they kind of use like Formula 1 racing mixed with like James Bond.
Which, don't get me wrong, we love Formula 1.
We love Formula 1,
but they focused way too much on this weird, James Bond, side story. Which
it was still good, though.
I liked it. Yeah, it was like Mater's movie.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're going to watch Cars 3 this week.
Yeah.
And continue it. But yes.
Great job.
Thank you. I think
awesome.
those were pretty easy. I think people at home are going to be like, duh, dude.
But I don't know. The Sword in the Stone... We wouldn't have gotten that last week.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I'm not very good at trivia, so Caitlin's being nice with me and asking me good questions. Okay, Caitlin, it is your turn. See if you can beat 2 out of 2.
Okay.
All right. Where does High School Musical take place? The city. This is a Disney Channel question.
I asked you the name of an owl, and you're asking me location.
Do you think you know?
Okay, so where's the high school?
Yes. Basically, what city does High School Musical take place in?
Oh, no.
It's random. I didn't know this. That's why I put it in.
I don't know. I feel like I know the state.
Sure, I'll accept state.
I don't know if I'm right. Is the state like Colorado or something?
No.
Oh, I have no idea.
No other guesses?
No, I literally only know it's East High.
Okay. Albuquerque, New Mexico.
New Mexico?
That's what it said.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you
Where
got
did I get Colorado?
Maybe fact check me, but this is what this trivia website listed. Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Okay.
The more you know.
I mean, yeah.
What is it? Something. Teammates in the game.
I don't think it's teammates in the game.
I'm making up lyrics.
Get your head in the game.
Get your head in the game. I like teammates get in the game better. All right. Question number 2. What is the slogan for Monsters Incorporated?
What is teammates get in the game?
Stop. No.
We scare because we care.
Oh, good job. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. That was a good one.
I love Monsters Inc.
All right, I won because you did ask me some easy questions, but I will take it. It's my first win in a long time.
I know, but hey, it's okay.
I will revel in this win. Let us know what you got correct. If you're like, I can't believe you missed Albuquerque, New Mexico. Let us know if you knew that fun factoid.
Yeah, I did not know that one.
Random.
Wow. Good for you.
Thanks. All right, you know what that cash register sound means. It's time for Shop the Mouse with Market House. Folks, it's time to spend that money. It's been a little bit since Caitlin's done this. Mm-hmm. Why don't you share what you got this week?
I am super excited this week. We have a couple things, one from Shop Disney and one that is not on Shop Disney.
Whoa.
I know.
Controversial.
So the first thing that we have is another home item that you could use in the kitchen or for entertaining. It is a Mickey Mouse cheese board. And what caught my eye about this is not only is it just like a neutral wood color, but it has like Mickey Mouse and like cursive along the side. And it also has little, I don't know what they're called, almost like little accessories, cheese board accessories.
Oh, yeah, like utensils.
Yeah. Almost, but they're not. It's not like a fork, knife, and a spoon. It's like something you can cut cheese with.
There's like a spatula.
Yeah, for people who have like charcuterie boards, you'll know exactly what this is. We don't do that a lot.
No.
But I think it's very unique because these accessories actually go inside the board so that they're not just like sitting everywhere.
Oh,
so
that's cool.
It's a clean way to keep them. It's good for when you're serving because you know where they are.
Kitchen stuff takes up so much room. I don't like how we'll have one appliance and then like the appliance accessories have to be in this other thing because they're loose. So I like that idea.
I loved the idea. And I also love that on this board, it kind of has, you know the ridge that are normally around like cutting boards so that juice or whatever? It also has that as well. So it's a good little touch. I love that kind of stuff.
If you got some juicy cheese.
Yeah.
Gross.
Okay. I love this kind of stuff. I've seen people put this and just leave it on their countertop as a decor piece or stand it up against their backsplash. It's just a good entertaining item.
Very nice.
And then
how much is it?
Oh, good question. It is $59.99.
Whoa.
I don't know, for a cheese board. That's
probably on par because that stuff charcuterie stuff is expensive.
It's very expensive.
So for decent wood cutting boards, you're looking at like probably $40-$50. So yeah, it's got that Disney premium, but cool.
As always, Shop Disney does run deals all the time as well as free shipping. So just be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
Lastly, we have something that's very fun. For those who don't know, Caleb and I are coffee fanatics. We are obsessed. We love trying new coffee, new places. We love making coffee on our Nespresso machine at home.
Yeah, some folks are going to roll their eyes. It's very newbie coffee.
Oh, 100%.
And we recycle the pods.
We do.
It's so wasteful, these aluminum pods. We do send them back. I don't know what Nespresso does with them when we send them back.
Yeah.
But we feel very wasteful when we use them. But it's a very convenient way of getting espresso at home.
We love it, and it's really good, and Caleb's so sweet. He makes me coffee every morning before work. He's so kind. Anyways, so I found some unique items that I thought would be really fun to have in addition to your coffee bar or your coffee setup in the morning. These are actually on Amazon. They are from the brand Joy Jolt, and they are Disney Mickey Mouse 3D espresso cups, which I love. So for those who don't know, we normally in espresso, there are obviously smaller cups that you get because for people who
Espresso.
I cannot drink espresso by myself or by
itself. You can only drink espresso with other people.
Yes,
you just said.
That too. I like drinking coffee with Caleb.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not one of those people who can just go sit in a corner. Yeah.
You don't want like a straight shot of espresso.
Yeah,
I
it's
can't
hard to
talk
say,
either.
right? But yeah, no, I definitely need like oat milk. I need
Sure.
like a little sweetness to it. But for those who can, these cups are adorable. They're around 5.4 ounces. So again, this is strictly just for your espresso. However, in the middle of the cup, it is shaped as a Mickey head.
That's cool.
So when it fills up with the espresso, when you look into the cup, it has a Mickey head on it.
Oh.
So again, it's just a little touch, but the glasses are see-through. And again, it's kind of like an artsy way to have cups that are see-through. We've always wanted to grab some because they look cool.
I know.
But I think they're kind of neat. You get a pack of 2 for $19.99 on Amazon.
It's not bad.
It's not bad at all. And again, it's just a little thing to add some Disney magic to your morning.
And with Prime, it'll be there like in 2 hours. That blows my mind.
Right?
Last note. How do you do it, Amazon? I click order, and within like 4 hours, it's at my door. And maybe these mugs can be at your door. Cups can be at your door in 4 hours or less.
I know. I always feel bad for the person that does that, though.
I know.
I feel like they're just like running around the warehouse with my cups. It's weird.
Oh.
But anyway, thank you so much for joining this week. As always, please, please, please let us know if you purchased any of these items. And if you do get them, let me know what you think. Let me know if you found any interesting Disney stuff, because right now Shop Disney is lacking.
Yeah. And it's not our fault if you don't like it.
Oh, yeah, no.
No returns accepted to Market House. All right, and that brings us to our main segment of this week's episode, and that is our top 5 Disneyland dinner options. So we're continuing the top 5 series and finishing it up with our favorite dinner options. We've done breakfast, lunch, snacks, and now dinner. So we cannot wait to get in here and just share what our top 5 places are around the resort, and this one's pretty hard. This includes restaurants at Disneyland, DCA, Downtown Disney, and the hotels.
Yes, which again, for those who don't know, there's a wide variety of different locations. So there's a couple different reasons on why we chose these locations. Some could be the same. We are not sure because we have not exchanged notes.
We haven't. We kept it secret. We did it on the couch together.
Exactly.
But I hid my iPad screen.
Exactly.
I was like, don't look over here. You're cheating.
I think you might be surprised at the way I've ordered this.
Okay.
So again, for listeners who have been here for a long time, they might think that they might know what my top location is, but there might be something that has been changed.
Okay, so let's get into it. Caitlin, why don't you share number 5 on your list?
Yes. So for my number 5 dining location for dinner, I have Jolly Holiday. And just as a backstory, for some reason, we always eat here at night. We never really go here in the morning for breakfast because there's not a lot of options for Caleb.
No.
For lunch, it's kind of like random.
They have a fantastic, it's seasonal, a chicken sandwich? Turkey. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
It's a turkey sandwich, and by golly, it is delicious on a gluten-free roll thing. Holy smokes, it's good. But with this like honey aioli stuff,
It's absolutely delicious.
It's so good. But it's only there, I think, in like the spring or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should have gone in when we were there. It's
Yeah.
okay. But yes, we do go there at night because of what?
Because of the number 1 item that we love getting. It is of course, grilled cheese and tomato soup. If you have never had it, it is absolutely a must-get item at Disneyland. They have a gluten-free version. The soup is just, it's so good. And I'm really happy that you brought up the chicken sandwich, because that is another thing that I wanted to mention. They used to have a grilled chicken sandwich with aioli. It had like lettuce and tomato.
That's what it was in my head.
Yes, and it was one of my favorite meals on all of the property. They got rid of it a couple of years ago and never brought it back.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe the turkey was more of a hit. But my one thing with the turkey sandwich is sometimes it's really dry and
That's
you have
true.
to like cover it with aioli sauce.
And it becomes 8,000 calories. So,
Exactly.
yeah. And part of me thinks that when they get rid of menu items, sometimes it's not even about the popularity. I
Yes.
think it's sometimes, I'm convinced, and this is boring answer, I'm convinced it has to do with like sourcing. Like when they go to their, the people they order from, and they go,
Yeah.
oh, hey, we raised our chicken prices by $1 a pound or something. And Disney
Yeah.
goes, nope, we're not ordering that.
Yeah, or they'll only have it at specific locations.
Maybe.
Rather than
I'm just guessing.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to mention is I kind of wrote down my different categories for each area by like ambiance, like food, and like kind of reasons why I like them. The ambiance at Jolly Holiday at night specifically is absolutely magical. You have views of Main Street, you have views of the castle. There's usually music playing. It's a really nice area. It's a good way to get off your feet and kind of just hang out. Especially if it's a hot sunny day, they do have umbrellas up. So it's a good area.
It is a fantastic area. I agree. That is a very good restaurant.
Thanks. What's yours?
My number 5 is Flo's V8 Cafe. So I'm starting with a quick service restaurant, trying to keep it somewhat affordable on my list here. Again, the food, I'm going to admit, we talk about how good the food is. And when we say these things, it is relative. This is not like I'm comparing Flo's V8 Cafe burgers to the entire U.S. There are way better burgers out there. I'm sure 15-minute drive away from Disneyland. But we're talking about theme park food. So for theme park food, this is a very, very, very good burger, and it's consistent. We haven't had a bad experience here. It's always very good for what you're getting. Again, gluten-free options out the wazoo, which I love. So it's a very good allergy-friendly option. Again, where this restaurant shines is the ambiance, like you said about Jolly Holiday. You've got the view of Radiator Springs on one side of the restaurant, or you can go, I'm going to eat on the back side and get a fantastic view of the Cars ride back there. Radiator Springs Racers.
It's so beautiful at night, too.
Gorgeous at night. So again, like I was going to say, the lights at night are so magical, and they also have a really, really good shake there. So if you have a little more room for dessert, they've got you can get a chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, or mix. Neapolitan?
Yeah,
Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you can also get something, if you're not gluten-free, called road gravel, which is basically Oreo cookies crumbled on top, and it's very good.
Yes.
And finally, they have one of the best music loops in the park. It's tough to beat old 50s and 60s songs, and they play these on repeat, and I love it.
Yeah, and the building's also pumping with AC.
Oh, it's so cold.
It's freezing in there.
It's so good.
I love it. I love that place.
It's a fantastic restaurant.
So you're going to laugh, but that was actually my number 4.
Is it really?
Item. And again, I'm not going to bore you guys and repeat all of what Caleb said. That's literally what I had. But I wanted to make one point. When you're going with friends and family, if you're going in a large group, or if it's just by yourself, to me, it's really important to have different options. Not just like, there's cheeseburgers and hot dogs. Like there's multiple options there, as well as having a dessert option, because a lot of times during dinner, like whether it's a sit down, they might not have an abundance of dessert options. So the fact that they have the shakes there, like I just really like that. I feel like it's all in one place.
Yeah, my problem too with the sit-down restaurants at Disneyland is their dessert options are exactly what you can get at a quick service restaurant, but about double the price. So one time we went, I think it might have been Wine Country, and they asked if we wanted dinner, and I was like, sure, I'm feeling ritzy tonight. We'll order dessert.
You said you're like, they asked if I wanted dinner.
Oh, sorry. No, dessert. I was like,
why would they ask?
I'm feeling like eating. No, dessert. And I was like, sure, we'll get the gluten-free brownie. And maybe it's different for the gluten stuff. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it was legit the same exact brownie I could get at Jolly Holiday. But they like warmed it up and put a little bit of like,
raspberry sauce. It was delicious.
I know. But they also charged like $14 versus I could have gotten it for like $6.
Yeah. And that's what I'm meaning. Like at Flo specifically, being able to have like a cheaper dessert option plus having a nice meal with really good ambiance. It feels like you're getting a lot of bang for your buck.
True.
So.
Good choice.
Yeah. What's your number 4?
It's kind of funny. We flipped. So my 4 is Jolly Holiday. So I know. I'm not going to repeat everything Caitlin said. I agree with everything. Fantastic night seating. You can see the castle from Jolly Holiday, which is so magical. What I will add is it's a fantastic spot for people watching. We love sitting here, resting our feet, and just seeing kind of all walks of life. It's fun seeing, grandparents walking around with their grandkids. It's fun seeing young couples walking around. You can tell they're on like a date or something.
Yeah.
And little kids running around having a grand old time. So it's just fun just watching all the different kinds of folks that visit Disney. It's fun.
Mm-hmm. And parades that go by as well.
Yeah, it is a good parade viewing spot.
I believe we watched over the summer, we watched the electrical parade.
We did.
From Jolly Holiday. So it's a good spot.
While eating a grilled cheese.
Yes.
Also, one last thing I'll say about that restaurant is that they've got some good coffee and hot chocolate available.
Oh, yeah.
We've ordered both, and it is a fantastic way to warm up while sitting outside in the wintertime, seeing those magical lights on the castle. It's just a fun time.
I love that place. So we didn't go there last time.
We didn't.
We only got, we found out they had gluten-free blueberry muffins. So we had that as a dessert one night, and it was delicious.
So good.
Yeah.
Again, in a bag and heated up, but I'm not complaining.
I thought it was great.
Very good. All right, Caitlin, what is your number 3?
So for number 3, we are going to take a little walk down to downtown Disney, and we are actually going to go to Tortilla Joe's.
Whoa, I'm surprised this made your list with recent experiences.
Yes, and I'm going to touch on that.
Okay.
So first of all, we're going to talk to why I chose this location. And number one is because this is almost, other than most recent trip, is a tradition for us. Every time we're down there, whether it's just Caleb and I or it's with our family, we always go there on the first night that we get down there. It's kind of like a tradition of like, hey, you go to downtown Disney, because we normally get there later in the day, so we don't have a park day. Especially if we go with family, they have their ticket holders, so like they are not going to go into the park for a couple hours.
So we usually fly down on a Friday night or Thursday night,
Right.
and by that point, again, us Magic Key holders, I'm like, I'm not going to go in the park for an hour and a half or 2 hours
No.
without our family, and
No.
then they're not going to go in. So yes, it's a perfect downtown Disney night.
Right. In regards to the location, downtown Disney is one of my favorite places. The music, the ambiance, it's just hustle and bustle. Everyone, I just feel like, is excited to be there. It's just a fun time. You can go do shopping, like this. You can smell the confectionery. Like, it's just all around. I love walking through there. I'm convinced they have the best chips and salsa I pretty much ever had. Especially with, I'm plain Jane. I just get grilled chicken tacos every time there. They are so delicious. It's not like the tacos you get where they're like super soggy or they chintz out on the meat. Like, they're really big plates.
Yeah.
But here are a couple downsides that I wanted to mention. Tortilla Joe's is extremely expensive. I think the 2 taco plate is like $25.
Okay. And again, for reference, it's extremely expensive for Mexican food.
Yes.
Because again, there's always a joke. I think it's a Jim Gaffigan thing. He talks about how like he worked at a Mexican restaurant and people would go, well, what's on the tostada? And you go, beans, cheese, meat, and then what's in the taco? Beans, cheese. It's
Yeah.
all the same stuff. So it's all the same ingredients, just mixed up in different ways. And you do feel a little silly, like spending, if it's just me and you, it's like $60 plus
Oh, for sure.
for dinner. And you're like, dude, I could have gotten the same thing for like half the price.
And again, for those who are listening, we totally understand why it's expensive. We obviously are aware that it's in downtown Disney, so that's the upcharge on that. However, there's a couple things that have in recent events been happening that we're not too like excited and happy about, which is why we didn't go on our last trip. One of those being the service hasn't been the best. We've had 2 different trips where we've gone with family and then once by ourselves. And the server, I don't know if they were just having a bad night. They were very snappy with us and kind of annoyed when we would like ask for things.
There's one thing if there's like just adequate service of like, oh, okay. Again, we don't have high expectations. We're just there to eat. You don't need to like do anything special for me.
Yeah.
But when you're actively rude, that's when I'm like, really, dude?
And again, we totally understand that everyone has days. And again, the 2 times we did go, Tortilla Joe's was slammed.
Very busy.
Super busy. So again, just keep an eye on it for it. If it was up to me, I would continue to go because I just think the food is worth it. However, one more thing. The chips and salsa that I was speaking about earlier, that is not free anymore. You have to pay for that. And it is not cheap, especially when you go with a bigger group. They charge per chips and salsa basket.
They do. And they charge per. My dad he took us all out and he was like, dinner on me, which was very nice of him.
Oh, of course.
And he wanted to get guacamole for the table. And so he's like, then I think she goes, oh, since there's so many of you, do you want 2? My dad was like, yeah, that's fine. Bring 2.
No, she asked us if we wanted more because we finished the first one.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, and we're like, oh yeah, because normally we were like, oh, it's like a drink refill.
Yeah, it was kind of implied that it was like yeah, sure, let's just kind of like just get some more. But it was it was like $22 per. It was $45 of guacamole.
And
Oh my
and
God.
they do charge every single time you refill your drink as well, right?
What?
Was that what happened?
Is
oh
it?
no, they charged you. Remember, we asked for like our sodas to go. She charged us for those cups.
That's what it was.
It was like, again, at the end of the day, there's worse things in life, but it was just kind of one of those things where you're spending like over $200 on Mexican food for like a family. You're kind of like, oh my God.
So that was I'm so sorry, Dad. I did not know that happened. So yes, just be aware of they do the split charge on the
plates.
Plates, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, on the I almost said the table. But yeah, on the plates. So again, I know this is kind of common, but it is kind of silly when you're already spending $22-23 on 2 tacos, and if you want to split it with me, which we usually do, they charge you another like $4 or $5.
But again, I don't want to like push anybody away from this location. If you've been there and you've had a good experience, just keep these things in mind. But I highly recommend the food. It is very good.
Yes. All right. Number 3 for me is Wine Country. And again, I'm not going to say the third thing, Trattoria. I don't know how to pronounce it, but this is the Italian place in California Adventure. And again, some people like really bash on this place. I've seen some super negative like reviews on Twitter, and I don't know. Disney people like to complain about the silliest things.
Yeah.
But again, you have to keep in mind, we're talking about theme park food. For theme park Italian, this place is really good. And I would argue, again, as an allergy person, their gluten-free Alfredo dish is so good. Like, I can't get this even like in my local area.
No, and again, for those who aren't gluten-free, his plate does not taste gluten-free. It is
No.
absolutely delicious.
So for allergies, they do a fantastic job. Again, back then, if you asked me this like a year ago, I would say this is a fantastic value spot. Go here. It's not priced like a Disney sit-down restaurant. It is now. They just did a recent price increase, and it was kind of expensive
Yeah.
for kind of what you got.
My plate went up by like $4
Yes, and mine went up more than that.
since June.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is resort-wide, not this location's fault, but bread service is not included anymore. So you used to get bread before. So there's little things where they take them away. You're like, man, I don't feel like I'm getting a great value, but it is what it is. That's what they're doing. So again, if you like Italian food and you don't want to go pay for an exorbitant meal at one of the hotel restaurants, this is a fantastic option. Again, like we mentioned, ambiance is like the number one thing here. The music loop here is so awesome and fun to listen to. It's very kind of energetic acoustic guitar feeling. I don't know how to explain it. It's very fun. I try and look it up at home all the time and listen at home. And then your view of Pixar Pier, your view of now San Francisco is fantastic. Again, a great place to people watch. If you get a seat right next to that walkway, it's fun just sitting there and enjoying the views.
I completely agree.
Yep.
I love that place.
Awesome. Caitlin, number 2.
All right, so for number 2, this is going to be a little like, what? I think you specifically are going to be very surprised with my option. Number 2 is Lamplight Lounge.
What?
Yes.
Okay, that is surprising.
Yes. So for those who have been here a long time, you're like, okay, Caitlin, we can stop you right there. We already know why you like Lamplight, but I love it so much. I'm going to just tell you all again because I love you all. Lamplight is absolutely exquisite. The ambiance when you walk in, you have the view of Pixar Pier. I am like obsessed with Disney animation and Pixar animation, like just seeing like different prints everywhere and the memorabilia of like different movies that they've done. The decor inside of the restaurant, having like different sections, like whether it's Ratatouille, Up, or whatever it might be, it's just so fun to look at. Plus, you have the bar kind of like on the side of the restaurant, and it's very hustle and bustle, and you can see like the Ferris wheel through the windows. And then when you go outside, they have fire pits. It feels like you're sitting on the water. Just overall, it's a really great ambiance, like no matter where you sit, which I truly like. The food here, again, we love the chicken nachos. We love the potato wedges. Very good.
Yeah, on the menu, they're called potato skins. Don't let that mislead you. They're not really thin like normal potato skins.
No,
they're
huge.
thick, like potato cakes, I would call them. And they are legit some of the best things I've had on Disney property.
They
Very
almost
good.
look like potato pucks. Like
Yeah.
they're not like regular wedges that you
No.
would get at like, I don't even know.
TGI Fridays or
Yeah,
something.
I was literally
No,
thinking that.
these are very good and well worth the money. You're going to go like $16 for potatoes. Buy them. I promise you. If
I
you don't
love
like
them.
them, I will send you the money.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm backing it up. I'm backing it up.
Quick note, they do also have amazing alcoholic beverages as well as non-alcoholic beverages and fun little like bubbly sprucey drinks for like the kiddos.
Yeah.
Like I think one of them's based off of Inside Out with Bing Bong.
Don't they get like it like fizzes and stuff for
Yeah,
them?
it's just fun little things where you're like your kiddos will be like, that's so awesome. One note I wanted to make about this place is the next time we go, I would really like to try the cheeseburger. That's always been on my list, and
Okay.
we've never tried it. It always looks delicious.
Yes.
So
Their stuff always looks good. All right, Lamplight number 2.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see what number 1 is. Number 2 for me is Napa Rose. This is a very fancy restaurant over at the Grand Californian Hotel. I think some of our friends, Jordan and Daniel over at Disneyland Forever, their favorite on Disneyland property, I think is what they said. So yes, if you like fancy food, this is your place. The food here is very, very good. Just expect to pay for that kind of food. It's maybe 40, 50, 60 a plate. So just save up your change and expect to pay a little bit of money.
I definitely feel like it's an experience dining rather than just a quick, you're going in to eat dinner.
Yes, this is not a rush situation.
No.
So if you have if you want to hit up Rise before they close the line down, this is not the place to go eat.
Right, exactly.
This is a sit down, relax, enjoy your meal, hour to 2 hours experience probably. Again, always a great experience. The service here is fantastic. Very good servers. and they'll take very good care of you for gluten-free. They have a gluten-free bread basket, at least they did before they got rid of bread service.
Right.
With like garlic bread and all other types of bread for me. Gluten-free wise, it's a very good place to eat. The steak was delicious. And again, it's nice having kind of a date night elevated option available, because when you go to a theme park, you don't think, oh, date night, get dressed up and have a nice meal. I think like sweating in line.
Right.
So this is a nice option. Yeah,
It's so true. We need to go there again.
we do.
I never,
been a long time.
honestly, just to prove your point, I never really think about making a reservation there.
Maybe we should do it.
Let's do it.
Maybe if we
That'd
go to
be fun.
Ooga Booga Bash.
Ooh,
fancy.
Okay, are you ready for my number one?
I am ready for your number one.
Okay, so my number one is Wine Country.
What?
And yes, I'm going to tell you why. So for those of you who are like, what in the world? How did Wine Country beat Lamplight Lounge? I'm going to tell you. So on our most recent trip, if you haven't listened to our last trip report, I highly recommend. We had some amazing memories that we made and just kind of just dove through all of that. But on our most recent trip, we had dinner here. And for those who don't know, Caleb and I would go to the parks all the time when we were dating. And this immediately took me back to just nostalgia and memories of us going when we were really young. And it was such like a warm feeling. And I can't tell you enough how like I literally can't stop thinking about the food that we got when we went. I wanted to kind of touch on them specifically. I get the spaghetti. I think it's aglio olio, when it's lightly tossed seasoned vegetables, garlic, chili flakes, and lemon oil.
Yes.
Highly recommend.
Looks like a very fresh dish. Like
Yes.
you feel good eating it.
It's so delicious. And then Caleb gets on the menu, it's labeled fettuccine shrimp Alfredo. He subs the shrimp for the chicken. But again, it's creamy Alfredo sauce, parsley, garlic, and chili flakes. And it is literally, for not being as big of an Alfredo fan, it is out of this world.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's very good. It definitely doesn't taste like jarred Alfredo. Even if it is, they do a really good job sprucing it up.
Oh, yeah.
Because it tastes like my grandma makes. Oh my God. She makes a homemade fettuccine Alfredo, and
It's
it
so
is
good.
very good. And I'm not going to say it's as good as that, but it's pretty close to, I mean, again, like you can taste almost like the full fat of the cream and
Yeah.
stuff. It's very good. It's super rich. So run an extra lap or two, but it's really good.
Yeah, I love it. Another reason why I decided to choose Wine Country is the ambiance. I love how calm this place is. It's lifted off the ground a little bit from like that walkway in between San Francisco and Wine Country on your way to Pixar Pier, which I really like, as well as just the lighting. It's very nice, and it's kind of almost very date night-esque. And then again, of course, in the background you have Pixar Pier, and when you're outside at night sitting out there and everything's lit up, it's really magical, and it's a refreshing break from the parks, because as we all know, they can get very crowded. Regarding the seating and everything involved in the ambiance, they do offer a World of Color package currently, which again, I'd highly recommend. I don't recommend it for the newest World of Color personally. I wasn't the biggest fan, but when they do go back to the old one, I'd highly recommend. You get really great seating, and it's just, again, it's another added touch to just the restaurant to have access to that. So that's my number one. It's more nostalgia, but again, I thought about more of what we got at Wine Country than I did Lamplight this last trip.
Wow.
So it blew my mind.
That's surprising.
It's so good.
So go try Wine Country. If you like it, let us know. If you don't, also let us know, and we'll tell you why you're wrong. I'm just kidding. So my number one, which should be no surprise here, is Lamplight Lounge.
Ooh.
So again, I'm not going to talk about this since we talk about it almost every single episode. Like Caitlin mentioned, fantastic food, really good drinks. Again, are they overpriced? Heck yeah. You're at Disney. Everything's overpriced. But it is a very, very good experience. The views of Pixar Pier, it's just fantastic. Whether you sit inside or outside, it is a great experience. Either way, service is always very good, and they always look out for you. So that's our list. Hopefully that was helpful. Make sure to share with us your favorite dinner locations at the park. If we didn't mention something, or like you're missing, like Blue Bayou, I know that's a lot of people's favorites and stuff like that. Share with us what your favorites are, and if you totally disagree with one of our picks. If you're like, why would you pick that for a dinner thing?
I did have one honorable mention, if I may.
All right.
I almost mentioned Smoke Jumpers Grill, just because they do have a grilled chicken sandwich.
Get out.
What?
their burgers recently
I said
have
grilled
been
chicken
okay,
sandwich.
but if there's only one option, we can't recommend that to people.
That's why it's an honorable mention, Caleb.
Okay. All right, I'll accept it.
But sitting outside in the very back over by Soren, it's really nice back there, and it's a really great ambiance. So
Okay.
Caleb's done with me right now. So
I'm like, you're wrong, and I'm moving on. Again, and please share this episode with a friend. If they're heading to the parks and they need some help with dining, send them this episode. Hopefully it's helpful to them, and they can choose some good dinner options for the next trip. Okay, thank you so much for listening. You can find us over on Instagram at Market House Podcast. Make sure to follow us over there for pictures from the park. Caitlin's got about 1,020 from our last trip, and so we can't wait to share those with you and all that good stuff. Caitlin put up a reel of Merlin that did very well, which was a very fun surprise. You guys seem to love that, so thanks for showing your love towards that video.
Thank you so much.
And we love watching him do his dance.
It's so good.
Yes. So consider leaving a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Giant help to the show. Thank you so much for doing that already. And remember to use our Getaway Today link for your future trip bookings. Get those California discount tickets and save some money. All right, we will see you next week. Bye.